The newly reworked Sombra is here, and after a handful of hours that I've had on her, I feel like I've found the best way to play her as well as introduce her to beginners that are interested in picking her up. So without further ado, let's get straight into the best guide to the new Sombra that is within us in Overwatch 2 in Season 7. Of course, this is best for beginners, and as always, if you're new to the channel, these type of videos are kept a little bit more simple and straightforward and a little bit more away from the complexity of the game, so it's easier for the new players or returning players to understand how to play the characters within the video. So Sombra is the one that recently got her new rework, and a lot of things have changed. Some of the things have remained the same that we'll talk about in a moment. First of all, as you can notice, her shift is no longer the invisible. Her invisible is now a passive that triggers after 3 seconds away from combat. So as you can see, 1, 2, 3, and now it triggers. And then the next way to trigger it is if we use our translocator. If we translocate away, it triggers right away almost 0.5 seconds after that. Now, the next thing you might have noticed that has changed is the way her translocator works. The way translocator works now is that it's an instant teleport after, I believe, almost a second of throwing it. It feels really good. It can catch you off guard at first, but it's honestly really good. And you can even do some really sick rollouts with it that I'll probably show throughout the footage in the gameplay section of this video. So yeah, translocator is a toss, and then you teleport to it after a second. So be sure to get a feel for how translocator works so you can start utilizing it to move around the map and keep yourself alive, and pair it with the invisible so you can maintain a good disruption playstyle. Now, I'm not going to go over all the specifics on what Sombra does now, but the spread on her gun has been reduced, which allows her to put some decent pressure damage that is not related to her hack and virus combo. And yes, you might be asking, Abby, what is virus? And virus is the new ability that Sombra's gotten. It is a damage over time ability. I believe it does 100 damage per second over time. So as you can see on this tracer, its damages, she's gonna be left with 50 HP per, yeah, there you go. She basically has 50 HP, and just a little spray will finish her off. Granted, the tracer has 150 HP. Now, so we have a general understanding of Sombra's new kit. The only thing that remains the same is her hack, but her opportunist passive is gone. For those that are unaware, Sombra's opportunist passive, whenever she hacks somebody, basically allows Sombra to do 20% more damage against them. Unfortunately, it was a little bit inconsistent and Sombra relied too much on hack, but now you can do various different combos. For example, if you put virus on a target that is hacked, they will take more damage. So this is what a target looks like with normal virus damage. So you can see, right? Now we're going to wait until the cooldown comes back, and then we're going to use the shift. We're going to use hack, shift, and then this, and you can see it does a lot more damage, right? So the way I like to categorize this new Sombra is basically she's like a hit scan DPS Doomfist. Like, she kind of wants to fly around the map, combo up her abilities, and, like, you know, pressure a target and then quickly get out. Now over there, the translocator kind of failed this, and honestly, the new translocator can feel a little bit wonky sometimes with the way it collides with walls. So we have to be a little bit careful that it doesn't hit walls, right? Otherwise, you end up in a situation like this where it instantly teleports you to walls. So that's another tip to keep in mind. Anyways, EMP is pretty much the same. You definitely can combo it with virus as well. So I don't think I need to teach EMP to people. Rather, this video will focus a lot more on how to utilize her new playstyle, right? One more thing, as you can notice, is Sombra's got this, you know, circle around her now. This is your detection radius. If you are, you know, if an enemy target is within the circle with you, they can see you, you're detected. So please keep that in mind when you're playing. Try to keep a good healthy distance around your target. You know, even when you're behind them, like, technically, like, they can see you, but they don't know your position unless they turn to see you, right? So these are some things to keep in mind about new Sombra. Optimally, her playstyle is a range of 2 different things. We're going to be talking about it on attacking and defending sides with footage to show you how to make her work. I will say that she's not overpowered, she's not underpowered. I can safely say, without a doubt, that she is by far balanced. I would say she's balanced. She doesn't do something too well. She doesn't do something too bad. Rather, she has her niche. If you can master her, you can play her really well. And of course, she's in a spot right now where if it's required, you should swap it up and play something else. Overall, your damage numbers are not going to look that high because, as usual, the way her gun works and everything is relatively the same. And she's not the type of character to put out a lot of damage. Rather, I consider her a DPS that likes to support her team by enabling an engagement on a target. So for example, let's say one of the safest ways to play her right now is playing with your tank. And what you want to do is, let's say if I had a tank over here, I'm kind of in this area playing around him. We're looking at the enemy tank, we're hacking him, we're going to virus him, and we're going to try and burst that target down, right? So that's kind of one playstyle. The other playstyle is, instead of playing with your team like this, like you play her similar to like this Symmetra May Reaper playstyle where you play with your tank and burst the other tank down. You want to try and get into the enemy backline in this like little area where you can isolate them, like, and combo them down and all that type of stuff, right? Now, the problem with this second playstyle is that in the current meta, especially with how high healing is and the different immortality abilities and all that type of stuff, playing Sombra into this flanker-esque playstyle really doesn't work more often than not. And it's honestly kind of a soft throw, because that playstyle was really good for when you could like TP back to your translocator. But now with the way the translocator works is, honestly, it's a soft throw. Like, let's say I'm dueling this Ana, like, I can't make it work for whatever reason. If I try to TP, like, there's still a window where they can chase me. And of course, like, in the practice range, it seems like, oh, it's not a big deal. But trust me, it is a pretty big deal. I've got some footage here and there. You'll notice, like, I tried that playstyle and it doesn't work. And even some enemy Sombras that try her old playstyle and it doesn't work. So this whole, like, babysit the support playstyle, it doesn't really work that well anymore. You kind of want to have a good balance between both the playstyles, right? On attack, you want to know how to pressure the enemy tank. And then when you're on the other, like, let's say that things are going out in your favor, maybe you want to get into the backline and harass the support for a little bit, get back to your team, and rinse and repeat the cycle. On defense, you kind of want to, again, do the same thing. You really want to balance out playing with your team and sometimes harassing the backline. You really need to keep it going. So with Sombra, you never want to stop moving. You kind of want to be all over the place. Like I said, it reminds me of the old DPS Doom playstyle where you just always want to be all over the place all the time. Sometimes you can help with the enemy tank. Sometimes you're harassing a support. But, you just want to test your limits to see where's the enemy weak point. And if none of those is working out, then I'm sorry to say you got to go back and swap it up and lock in the Bastion right now, because he's still really strong in Season 7 as we speak, as far as, October goes. Now, with that being said, we're going to watch some videos of footage of me playing Sombra on attack, doing the two different playstyles, and then a video on defense where I already do both playstyles in one. So we're going to be watching 3 different maps. Let's go. Okay, so here we are. We are in Route 66. The attack has started, and I'm just going to share my thought process on how I'm playing Sombra over here. I noticed that they have flyers, so obviously I want to try and isolate the Pharah or Mercy. But the enemy does have some good pressure, so it's harder for me to kind of go for that flank playstyle, so I opt to play close to my team. I'm just kind of watching the Pharah and Mercy over here, seeing if I can isolate any of them, and even if I can't get a hack of virus off, I should just, spray my left click and just continuously apply pressure. Now, I mess up my translocator over there. It's something, trust me, like, the translocator is something that everybody will make a mistake on. It's one of those things. It's one of those things that takes a little bit of time to get used to, and even then sometimes you will find yourself messing it up, but it's all right. We're all human beings. Mistakes is a part of us. We learn from our mistakes, and that's how we get better. So going to the next team fight, we're a little bit here and there. I managed to hack the the Pharah, unable to really isolate her with the virus, but was able to use translocate to get to her and delete her and pressure the Baptiste. And now I'm feeling a lot more comfortable because I was able to punish 2 people. I can start pressuring the Zarya and Mercy, but she's got the healing pumping in, so I'm like, okay, maybe this is a little bit of a waste of time. I noticed where the Ana is positioned, the Hanzo, in this case, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go chase the Hanzo and then make my way back down to helping my team. So at the moment, we're playing that front line, play close to your team Sombra playstyle, simply because, the enemy has some really high burst damage, and we want to be careful that we don't feed. We already had a bit of an embarrassing death, so want to make sure that we can play close to our team, play near them. I'm not fully focused on hacking health packs and things like that, because I just want my frontline presence to be felt, that, okay, they have this Sombra, she can hack us, she can virus us, we need to respect her. So over here, managed to quickly isolate this Echo. I wasn't able to secure the kill because the bubble came up in time, but we were able to secure the point. Now, EMP is not that far from, coming up as well. However, I was, able to just kind of follow up on what my team is doing. Some of my teammates were being a little bit silly. It is quick play, so it is what it is. And yeah, we're just trying to play safe, avoiding our deaths, just being everywhere, just trying to find that next target to isolate. So Echo is actually trying to get on my backline, but unfortunately, I'm a little bit like out of position and I do get caught. So it is what it is. Sometimes you don't want to be all over the place. Sometimes you just kind of want to chill with your backline. Again, new Sombra is still like, it's taking a bit of getting used to. Like you really are trying to play this like more May Reaper like playstyle. So over there we isolate the Mercy. She was out of position. We caught her. So Sombra is really good at just grabbing people out of position. Over here I was considering EMP, but honestly that like Gravitic Flux by our Sigma was so good that I just felt like I didn't need it. So again, that is just some of the things to take away from that game, was that that was the more playing close to our team playstyle, and if you can manage that, it's going to work out really, really well for you. Now going into this next game, it is a Samoa game, and this one really worked out in our favor. This one you will see a little bit more of a flanker-esque playstyle coming in, and honestly the number one thing that if you want to do the quick flanker playstyle, you must pay attention to the enemy supports, and you must pay attention to which is the crucial support that you need to take out first. Now, in my situation, I saw Ana and Kiriko. I was tagging all of them with the ping, and I was like, okay, Kiriko has the Suzu. Hacking her and shutting her down is my priority. So we hack her, we virus her, I quickly take out the Junkrat and Kiriko, and from this point on, we are just raining in all hellfire. It goes really well for us. I even hacked the Zarya. Missed the virus, but it's okay because it's more than enough to pressure her away. The Ana has been isolated. We walk in, we follow up, we get rid of the Ana, and that is how you can win over points with Sombra. So that is the two different playstyles. In the first map on Route 66, we saw the more team-centric playstyle, and over here we saw the more flanker-esque playstyle, but it's a lot more high risk, and in my personal opinion, mid-level reward, I would say. Not high reward, mid-level reward, because sometimes, let's say if they had the Baptiste, the 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐒, there's just too many buildables that can pressure us in and out, right? Now, with that being said, we're going to go over to one of the defending maps, and that was Alden's Burn. It's Eichenwald, but for some strange reason, they renamed it. So here we go. I do a pretty cheeky rollout with Sombra. Over here, this is one of those things where with the new Sombra translocator, you can do some pretty silly rollouts. So, I was like, what, why not? Let's do a silly little rollout. It is quick play at the end of the day. I might not get the chance to do things like this in competitive, so might as well see if I can do some old school DPS Doomfist playstyle. So here we go. I'm paying attention to the silhouettes of my teammates. Unfortunately, we do lose the 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐿, and that's a little bit upsetting. I'm like, all right, fine. I can't wait for too long. As soon as I notice that ball is shooting, I throw my translocator and I go in. There we go. Enemy team is here. I start hacking this Symmetra. I try to push her down, but there was also a Widow or Ashe, and I was like, I can't stay in this fight in this area. We just got to keep moving, otherwise Overwatch is a game about seconds. You just always have to keep moving, So again, playing close to my team, realize the flanker playstyle is not going to work. On defense, we definitely want to be a lot more reserved. So if you want to know the best place to be, just be in this middle ground area of playing close to your other DPS and supports. Over here, the Symmetra did try to get a little bit cheeky, but we were able to isolate her. We were able to stop her from a flank, and we were able to successfully defend the point. Again, just trying to constantly create ways to pressure the enemy team. The way Sombra works is, you're not always going to have an opportunity to get kills. You just want to pressure the enemy team. Again, we were able to hack. We were able to burst down the 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐒. We were able to isolate the Mercy and get the kill on her. And again, another successful defense, another successful team fight win. And again, using my translocator to relocate, to get out, don't need to ego anything. Don't need to, go for these hero plays. Just play it safe, play it smart, play close to your team, help follow up on them. That's kind of become the name of the game. Is, we're seeing less solo plays and more, okay, how can I help my team? Over here, I do get a little bit cocky, and I believe I do pay a big price for that, simply because I was able to be isolated. And, okay, I didn't get punished here, but I didn't take the risk. Did try to isolate the Mercy again, and I was able to get away with it. So, you can limit test, but try to keep the safer plays in mind when you're doing these things, because the second you get caught on Sombra, you pretty much fall apart. So again, in these fights, it's working out, but when you play Sombra, you will notice when the enemy is able to isolate you. Over here, I believe, again, able to escape with my life, but you could see that if I didn't have translocator, it's just not going to work out. You have a very small window of, I would say, maximum 2 seconds to try and make work the hack and virus playstyle. If in 2 seconds you cannot do what you're trying to do, you must get out. See, we hack, we virus, we try to keep the pressure up, and then we get out. You know, we reset, we let the cooldowns come back, we try again. Again, very old school Doomfist playstyle. Again, wasn't able to get the hack and virus playstyle. Did EMP over here. Unfortunately, the ball was able to get the slam, but 𝐒𝐈𝐻𝐿𝐿, you know, this is the problem, is there's the supports, they have too much, like, you know, tools in their kit nowadays that it's very hard to make these plays. But we were able to return some of that feeling because we were able to hack the 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐒 out of our ult and stop the, you know, enemy, you know, 𝐒𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐊𝐿 from getting a big value. Unfortunately, we do lose this team fight. Not much we can do about it. It's alright. It is what it is. Go next team fight. We gave them the point over here. However, we're going to try and stabilize, you know, the upcoming team fight. So we're going to see what happens like when we want to retake the advantageous position that the enemy team has. In this case, you know, they have point. They're going to start pushing the car. Not much we can do in this scenario. Again, the stats don't matter on Sombra that much. Overall, she has quote-unquote low damage. You just want to do your job. Again, keeping this pressure coming, just getting out the moment they give you attention. I could have gotten caught over there by the Hog. He just didn't. I hacked the health pack because I know they're going to play this health pack region at some point in the near future. Again, try to isolate this soldier. I just want to burst him down, trying my level best. I got him, but again, like barely escaped with my life. So always remember that, you know, just you have to be super careful when you're playing defense, right? We will see that I may get caught here and there because, again, new Sombra can just be sometimes underwhelming. Like you can punish targets that are isolated or going for that superhero play, but, you know, once you kind of get caught with your pants down, it is you that is getting spanked. So that is something to keep in mind, is we do want to play, you know, I am limit testing. I am worried that, okay, if I try to isolate this, you know, 𝐒𝐈𝐍𝐿𝐿e, her pylon will heal her or something like that. So it's just a little bit awkward. Over here, I was able to follow up on our sunrise attack. And again, it followed, it just worked out really well. So the way I see Sombra is like she's just like this, like, quote unquote support DPS, where she's all about supporting what your team is doing. You look at your tank, what are they doing? Support it. What is your DPS doing? Support it. Nice kill over the enemy Sombra over there by myself. 𝐿𝐿 strikes again. And, you know, you always just want to be around your team and enable what they're trying to do. And every now and then you can, you know, sneak in a nice little kill here and there with your, you know, hack virus combo, and just keep it going, and then use EMP in those situations where, again, you know that your team is going to follow up on the EMP. Because unfortunately, I could not get any good EMP footage. If whether I was on attack or defense, it did not matter. This is one of those things of, unfortunately, you need a team to, you know, coordinate with. Every time I EMP'd, you know, my team just didn't follow up. I did a very terrible EMP because I thought the wrecking ball was going to come in. I failed to realize that our wrecking ball died and nobody else on my team followed in. So you're going to run into this type of frustration a lot. So, you know, try to avoid that. If you have a duo on tank or DPS or support, try to coordinate with them that, hey, you know, I'm going to go do this, follow up with me. I was able to steal a cheeky kill on the Widowmaker over there. So you can see that there's a pattern that's forming of how to play Sombra. So if you understand this pattern, that's great. Play her just like this. You know, balance out the team playstyle and the solo playstyle, and you'll be just fine. But also know that this Sombra has her weaknesses. She's not overpowered. If you need to swap off, you know, swap off. And you can play something that's more meta right now, like Torment Bastion. Again, over here, followed up on my team, helped them out. We kept the wheel spinning. You know, and that's how you stabilize and play Sombra on defense. Guys, that's going to be it for this video today for the best Sombra guide, perfect for beginners. If there's any questions that you would like to know, or any things that you need answered, or maybe you're not figuring out on Sombra, feel free to ask. Again, for people that don't know me, new to the channel, I'm a top 500 DPS player. Mostly Genji is my main, but we've been able to get top 500 on damage as a role altogether. By playing other characters as well, and I've reached GM on tank and support, so you can rely on me to help you out on all the characters at any point in time. With that being said, that's going to be it for this video. If you guys want to support the channel for free, you can do that just by hitting like and subscribe. It helps with the algorithm, gets me around to newer people, helps the channel grow, and we will be doing a big battle pass giveaway once we do hit the 3,000 subscriber mark, because that's my next milestone. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.